Alrighty, well, hello everyone. My name is Hayley Bennett. I am an admissions counselor at California Baptist University. I'm so excited to be doing a virtual visit with you all. I'm so sorry we couldn't meet in person, but I am happy to go over all of the details of CBU. So just to give you a little background about me, like I said, my name is Hayley. I am also a CBU alumni. So I actually attended CBU from 2012 to 2016, and then I actually attended CBU again for my master's degree from 2017 to 2019. So I am a Lancer through and through. I love CBU and have been there. This is my 10th year being involved at California Baptist University in some way, shape, or form. So California Baptist University is located in Southern California. We are in the perfect spot because we are an hour from the beach, an hour from the mountains, an hour from LA, and an hour from Disneyland. So we are located in Riverside, California, which is in the Inland Empire. So during this presentation today, I'm just going to let you guys know a little bit more about CBU, who we are, what we're about, what makes us unique, and the value of a CBU education. So I'm going to share some personal stories along the way as well. Let's go ahead and get started. So at CBU, we have what are called distinctives. So we have three key distinctives that I'm going to highlight today during our presentation. So the first that I'm going to go through is our institutional momentum. And this is how CBU has been growing over the years, not only physically, as you can see my background, that is one of our beautiful buildings on campus, but also through our student population. So I'm going to talk about how we've been able to have a bigger campus, physically, but also how the student population has increased throughout the majority of our programs. I will also be going over what makes us a student-centric campus. So at CBU, students are the heart of everything that we do. We want to make sure that our students are prepared academically, socially, spiritually, and professionally. And we have all different types of resources that will help you just be better and take the next step in those areas. And then finally, I'm going to speak on our academic breadth. So breadth is just a fancy word for wide range. So at CBU, we have a wide range of majors. We actually have over 80 different ones to choose from and 150 combinations of majors, minors, and concentrations, which is super exciting because you can make it as detailed and as unique to you as possible. So even before we dive into that though, I do want to give you an overview of CBU and introduce you to our student population. So at CBU, we currently have over 11,000 total students. That includes our undergraduate, our graduate, and our online professional studies students. But for those of you that are going to be pursuing the traditional four-year bachelor's degree, we have over 6,700 students on campus doing their four-year programs. So over the years, actually since 2006, we have grown 200% in our student population, making us one of the fastest growing universities in the United States, which is super exciting. We're very proud of that growth, but even despite that growth, we've still been able to maintain non-impacted majors. So what that means is that students won't be put on a wait list. They'll be able to get the classes that they need in order to graduate within that traditional four-year timeline. And when students do graduate from CBU, they will be receiving a degree that is WASC accredited. So you guys may have heard of WASC before, like in the school system, but WASC is the same accreditation agency that accredits both CUNYs and Cal States. So CBU is accredited by WASC. So when you're walking across that stage, you have your degree, it will hold merit and value so that when you're getting a job after graduation or you're going on to grad school, employers and future deans are going to be able to see that you have an accredited degree from CBU. So that's an overview of who we are, but I do want to mention a little bit more about that momentum that I talked about earlier. So I'm going to give you guys a quick view at some of the buildings on campus. The first is our CBU Event Center. That's also what is behind me right here as my background. So you have the daytime version and then the nighttime version. But this is a hub on campus. So this is one of our newest additions. It is where we host our chapel services, our men's and women's basketball games, as well as commencement, which is very exciting. So graduation's coming up for our seniors, and this is where you can get your degree and celebrate. We also have our newly refurbished engineering building. So it was created in 2019 from this little tiny building to this 100,000 square foot project hall, classrooms, and offices, which is amazing. This is one of my favorite offices on campus, favorite buildings, because you don't just have to be an engineering student to utilize the resources in here. There's plenty of study rooms and quiet space for you to get your work done. And so even though I wasn't an engineering major, I still definitely took advantage of that space. We also have a brand new parking structure, which is just to the side of our event center. And so at CBU, students can have their cars on campus all 4 years. So freshman through senior year, and car parking is actually free at CBU. So keep that in mind when you're looking at colleges. I know every college has a different policy, but at CBU, that's ours. We also are continuing to add our housing areas. So like I mentioned, we're getting new students, we're growing pretty quickly. And so we want to accommodate for those students coming onto campus. So we're continuing to add new housing availability. So this one is called Magnolia Crossing. It is for our sophomore students, and it actually holds 500 residents, which is super exciting. And then lastly, our brand new front entrance. So all of these are indicative of the physical growth that we have seen over the years, but also, we are having on-campus tours. So if you guys are ever in the Southern California area and want to sign up for a tour, you're welcome to that. We'd love to have you, and we can even dive deeper into all of these areas and more when you come visit us. So not only are we growing with our campus, but also with our programs. So CBU has transitioned over to NCAA Division I in all 21 of our athletics teams. So we have 21 different teams at CBU, all D1, all doing really well in that conference. And so what you see here is actually one of our men's basketball games. This is our student section. As you can see, we are very spirited and love to cheer on our fellow Lancers. So we are called the CBU Crazies on game day. This is our student section. All the CBU Crazies really want to help cheer our athletes to the next level, and they've cheered them on so much that we made it to D1, which is super exciting. But now I do want to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk more about that student-centric philosophy that we have at CBU. So like I mentioned, if you come for a tour, you'll get to learn more about these different offices, but the first one I want to highlight is actually our Career Center. So CBU does provide the Career Center for our current students and even our alumni, which is wonderful. So what you see here is actually a fair. We do typically have, or our Career Center hosts different internship fairs and job fairs all throughout the semester and throughout each year with different career paths. So this one specifically is hosted in our engineering building. This is an engineering fair, but we also have them for other majors, like our teachers fair, nurses fair, business fair. We have all different kinds. So this is an example of what you could be a part of. We've even had students get hired on the spot at some of these fairs. So hopefully that's encouraging to you. But not only do they host fairs, but the Career Center does a great job at preparing students to take that next step in their professional development, like improving their resume, helping them with their cover letter. We even have a resource on campus where students can rent professional clothing. Like if you need a blazer or a tie or a blouse or something like that, then students are able to have that opportunity at no additional cost, which is great. So I do also just want to highlight that not only are we wanting to get you ready professionally, so you look your best moving forward, but you do need to pass your classes first. And so you will be working with the Office of Student Success and utilizing the Tutoring Center. So with the Tutoring Center, that is at no additional cost to students. So if you need a little bit of extra help, in certain classes, tutoring is a great option. Or if you're excelling in your classes and you yourself feel like you would like to be a tutor, that is an option as well. So definitely be sure to check that out. Since this is also at no additional cost, it's really a resource to help students put their best foot forward. I also want to highlight our community life office. Like I mentioned, where we're located in Southern California, there's so much to explore. Through community life, we actually have a sub office called Outdoor Adventure, and their whole goal is to get students connected, not only on campus, but off campus as well. As you can see here, these students are hanging out in the mountains, but we've also done days to the beach. We've gone to NBA games together. We've gone to like the Pantages Theater. We've done a whole lot of things in Southern California as a CBU sponsored event. So That's super cool. And because of where we're located, we've actually done a snow to surf day where students are snowboarding in the morning and surfing by sunset on the same day because we're centrally located. So that's pretty awesome. And in addition to that, if you guys are coming to CBU, you'll probably be living here. So with residence life, not only would you live well at CBU, but you would also have mentorship during your time. So you would have a resident advisor and a resident director really wanting to assist you and help make that transition from high school to college much easier. And in addition to living on campus, you would have a meal plan. So at CBU, the food is amazing. We were actually rated number 2 best college food in all of California, number 5 best college food in the United States of America, which is super, super cool. We're very happy about that. And so if you guys come for a tour, you actually get some free meal tickets. So we'd love for you to come check out that food for yourself. Alrighty, and then lastly, I do want to highlight our spiritual life office. So we are California Baptist University. Baptist is in our name. So we do have spiritual life resources for students to take that next step in their faith. What you see here is an example of our chapel services. So through chapel, you're going to hear from motivational speakers, authors, people in the community that have thrived from the Christian worldview, and you're going to learn more about that. And this is once a week, and so you're actually going to be able to have that built into your schedule and attend chapel weekly. But Spiritual Life also hosts opportunities for students to go overseas with international mission trips or even on-campus Bible studies. So they host a whole bunch of opportunities for students to help grow in their faith. Alrighty, so now I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about the different majors that CBU offers. Like I mentioned earlier, you're all going to be going to college to choose a major, and we actually have 82 current unique majors at CBU. You can see here they're listed alphabetically, so you can see which one works best for you. But currently, CBU's 5 most popular majors are nursing, engineering, business, kinesiology, and psychology. But we also have really unique majors as well that maybe some other universities don't currently offer, like aviation flight for our students who want to be pilots, or interior design, or even architecture. And our architecture program actually has a bridge program where you can get your bachelor's and your master's in just 5 years, which is super unique to CBU. So if you're interested in that, this may be a good fit for you. So, whether you're choosing a major or a minor or concentration, you're going to be spending a lot of time in the classroom with your professors, utilizing the different types of equipment, skills, technology that your prospective future career field will be involved with. And so at CBU, we actually had a 19-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So what that means is that for every 19 students we have on campus, we have 1 professor available to support them, which in turn means our class sizes are very small. So I know sometimes if you've seen, college classes in the movies, there's like a giant lecture hall and the professors look about this big, from far away. But at CBU, that's not the case. Your professor is going to get to know you personally. They'll know your face, they'll know your name. They'll want to make sure that you're thriving and doing well, not only in their class, but just in life in general, which is very much appreciated. I know as a student myself, I had a professor who he taught one of my Bible classes. His name was Dr. Kate, and every week he would encourage students to go out to lunch with him. He would say, hey, I'm going to a Chick-fil-A on campus. I'm going to grab some lunch. I would love for you guys to join me. I'm going to go over the study guide for the final. That was very beneficial for us because not only did it show that he was willing to take time out of his day to make sure that we felt prepared, but also showed that he cared about us overall, which was very much just a blessing. So I will say, we have wonderful professors. 82% of them have the top degrees in their field. And so they have decades of experience and they really want you to ask questions and glean wisdom and knowledge from them. They're happy to share that. So at CBU, like I mentioned, we are a 4-year private Christian university. So 100% of our staff and faculty are Christians and sign a statement of faith. However, we do not require that students share that same faith. So we accept students from all different types of faith backgrounds, and we just meet them where they're at and encourage them to take those next steps. So like I mentioned, chapel is one of those, but also we have 2 faith-based requirements. The first is that All students will need to enroll in 9 units of Christian studies. That's about 3 classes over 4 years, but you definitely have freedom in choosing exactly what classes you want to study, which is great. And then our next requirement is that students will attend 15 chapels per semester. So chapel isn't a replacement of church, but it is a way for you to learn more about that Christian worldview in addition to getting connected with the local church. So we like to say at CBU, you don't have to believe what we believe to belong, but we do want to help you in kind of exploring your faith and seeing what that looks like as you take those next steps. So there's some quick facts about CBU. For those of you that are interested in applying to CBU, I'm going to go over a roadmap for you and what that looks like. So I'm not sure, but you may have noticed that CBU is actually not on the Common App. We have our very own user-friendly application portal. It's at calbaptist.edu/apply. The application itself is very simple and everything can be done through that portal. So good news is that the application for seniors is currently open, so it's not too late to apply. We operate under rolling admission, so there is no official deadline for when the application is due. So you guys have plenty of time. School starts September 6th, so for you seniors, if you're still looking for a college and you think Southern California and CBU would be a good fit, send in those applications. I would love to review them and help you throughout that process. And in addition, on a normal year, so for those of you that are maybe freshmen, sophomores, or juniors right now, your senior year on September 15th, that is when the application will officially open for you. So September 15th of your senior year, that will open at this website. And the good news is for this year and for next year, so fall of 22, fall of 23, the SAT and the ACT are actually not required. We're test blind. So you won't have to take those for the next couple of years. So just keep that in mind. I know every school is a little bit different, but that is where we are with that at this moment. I will say, as you can see here, the freshman requirements and the transfer requirements are very similar. So we do ask that all students write an admissions essay. It is a 3 to 5 paragraph essay, just letting us know a little bit more about you and what you hope to gain from your CBU experience academically, socially, and spiritually. We also have a $45 application fee, but for you juniors that are eventually going to be seniors, we typically waive that fee in the month of November. We call it No Fee November. But if any of you students are watching this and you are able to email me letting me know that you're going to apply, feel free to let me know and I'd be happy to send you over a promo code as well. And in addition to that, we do need your official high school transcripts. So we need those to be sent directly from your school to CBU so that we can do an evaluation for you. And same is true if you decide to transfer to CBU, that is all of those rules still apply. However, we would need your official transcripts from not only your high school, but any college you attended as well. So that was a run through of what the application process looks like. So seniors, if you're, it's not too late, you're still able to submit that. And even if you come for a tour on campus, you can apply while you're there as well. For the juniors that are going to be applying next year, we do have a priority application deadline. So like I mentioned, for rolling admission, no official deadline, but if you wanted to just get the ball rolling and make sure that you're getting a decision sooner, you can actually apply by December 1st, and you would be part of what's called Lancer Select, which is an elite group of students who have submitted their application early. So not only would you get your decision sooner on acceptance, but your financial aid offer quicker and some other fun perks that I don't want to spoil. So keep, September 15th is when it opens. December 1st is when Lancer Select deadline is. But yeah, so future planning, just keep those dates in mind. I do want to touch briefly on some scholarship opportunities that CBU also offers. So we do offer scholarships based on a student's cumulative weighted high school GPA. So when you send in your transcripts, we're going to look at all of your grades from freshman through junior year, typically when you're starting your senior year. So we'll have your first 3 years of school already completed. So depending on where your cumulative weighted GPA sits will determine your scholarship. As you can see, it does come at a range depending on where you sit in those different tiers of scholarship. But what's great about these is that students who receive a scholarship upon acceptance will continue to receive that scholarship each year that you're at CBU, as long as you maintain a 2.0 college GPA. Yes, 2.0 college GPA. So That is our maintenance requirement for students to continue to receive the scholarship every year. You won't have to reapply. It will just automatically be renewed for you as long as you hit that 2.0. And I know some students, I get this question a lot, like, Hayley, what if I'm on the bubble? What if I have a 3.29? Like, I'm so close to going from directors to deans. That's okay. If you graduate from CBU, and you send us your official final transcripts, and I see that you actually did kind of bump up and maybe you now have a 3.3, I will automatically upgrade your scholarship. So that's something we do. No need to like reapply or anything like that. We actually just make that change as we review your final transcripts. So obviously the higher your GPA, the higher your scholarship. So we want to reward you for your hard work in high school and hopefully get you a little bit of extra financial aid there. Same is true for transfer. So everything I just mentioned is still true if you become a transfer student. It's just, you know, they're kind of looking at your college GPA, so your high school GPA, and then the amounts do differ. And I wanted to mention too, if you decide to transfer to CBU, a transfer student would be considered transfer if you have 24 or more completed college units. So that's how we determine transfer status. But now I do want to dive a little bit deeper into financial aid. So this first slide here is, this is what we call our sticker cost. So I don't want these numbers to scare you. This is just what it would cost if you were to add up everything that entails being a student living on campus. So for a residential student, it's just over $49,000. That includes tuition, fees, housing, and your meal plan. But there are ways to get that overall cost down because 100% of students at CBU receive some type of gift aid, which is free money that you don't have to pay back, which is the best type of money. So the only way we would know exactly what type of aid you're eligible for, you would need to fill out the FAFSA. So maybe you guys have heard FAFSA, you know, here and there from your teachers or the Career Center, and that's awesome if you're familiar with the name. It is super important. So for seniors right now, it's not too late. Go ahead and apply for that. For juniors, this will be open on October 1st of your senior year. So you'll go to FAFSA.gov, fill out all your information, and then the most important part of filling out your FAFSA is actually including CBU's school code. So every college has a different school code. You'll want to put in 001125, and that's the only way CBU can receive your information and then create a personalized financial aid offer letter for you. So be sure that you include that when the time comes. And there are different types of aid that students are eligible for. So the first would be government aid. So this is based on your FAFSA information as well as needs. So for California state residents, you may be eligible for Cal Grant. And then there's also the Pell Grant, FSCOG. These are all, they come at a range depending on that FAFSA. So that's why that's super important. Students may also be eligible for a loan, or parents can also apply for a supplemental Parent Plus loan as well. But loans are optional, they're not required. And then, like I mentioned earlier, there's different types of aid. So government aid is one type, institutional aid is another type. So CBU sees need a little bit differently from the federal government. So based on your FAFSA information, if you didn't qualify for maybe some government aid, you may qualify for some institutional aid. So that's why that FAFSA is super important for us to determine. And then we also have different types of scholarship opportunities as well. So as you can see, we split them up into 4 different categories. The first category is the CBU scholarships. These are actually based around family. So if you have parents that work for the International Mission Board or are working full-time ministry at a church, is the IND or the Minister's Pin Scholarship. Or if you're attending CBU at the exact same time as a sibling and you're both in the undergraduate degree program, then you both would receive a scholarship as well. Next to that, you'll see the athletic scholarships. So like I mentioned, for D1 athletics, all 21 of our scholarships are per team. So all 21 of our teams have a scholarship. It's just at the discretion of our coaches. Then below that, you'll see our major specific scholarships. So these are typically for students that are interested in any majors within the College of Architecture, Visual Arts and Design, our Christian Studies, or engineering. So those have specific scholarships. So if you're interested in any of those areas, be sure to reach out to me. I would love to give you more information about that. And you would apply directly through the prospective college. And then lastly, we'll see department scholarships. And these are some of my favorite ones because these are actually based on participation and not major. So for example, you know, we have scholarships for theater, music, and speech and debate, but you don't have to major in any of those areas. You could actually be a psychology major and get a music scholarship as long as you're a part of a music program of some sort at CBU. So that's true for all three of those areas. And so if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me and I'd love to talk to you more. Alrighty, so lastly, and this is for students, you know, juniors and seniors alike, you guys can start applying for outside private scholarships to help you fund college. This is a great resource that we have curated for you guys. It's calbaptist.edu/scholarship station, and it is a list of scholarships that if you are awarded them, CBU will accept them and put those towards your student account. So we kind of took the guesswork out of it so you guys don't have to Google what are legit scholarships. We kind of did that for you already. So be sure to check that out when you can. All right, so I know that was a lot of information at once, but I do want to share a special video with you guys just to give you a better idea of what it's like to be a CBU Lancer.
Now she's gonna get that food on me. I would say yes. I told you. I would even prefer. I've got one left. For I used to, but I found that Target way better. Price. Not just for the price. Target, Costco's was what are you waste? So then I was buying Flipper's brand. And then I found out Flipper's brand brand across the campus and just as millions of dollars. I'm gonna total on top right now. So I put on all my stuff in these places because thank you.
Alrighty, well, hopefully that video got you guys excited about what it's like to be a CBU student. You know, I love watching that video because it brings back a lot of the memories I had and gets me really excited because I know you guys get to experience that and more. So if you would like, we would love to stay in touch with you. We'd also love for you to come for a visit. So check out CBU_Future Lancers for more information. We really want to, you know, see how you're doing and give you some announcements and just let you know what's next. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen right now. But thank you all so much for taking the time to learn more about CBU. Again, if you have any questions at all, you're always welcome to email me. My email is hbennett@calbaptist.edu. My name is Hayley. I would love to talk with you more. If you have questions about financial aid or if your parents have questions, I'm happy to go over that with you in more detail and hope to hear from you soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Hayley.
Yeah, of course. I'm so glad that we got to make this work today. And also, if you have questions or if you have students that you feel like would benefit from this, feel free to share it with them. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.